I love it. Just love it. So let me teach you an Amidah because, I don't know, I just felt like it was something to do. So this is an Amidah from Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav. I use it just about every week in my synagogue. It's actually not a bad meditation before you go out and tell a story. Or do Maggidic stuff. Maggidic stuff. I'm starting to talk like you guys. What the heck is Maggidic? Anyway, I'd rather say Maggidual things.
I like that.
Can you say them Magidly?
Say that what?
Can you say them Magidly?
I can. There was once a time. So here's a wonderful Amidah from Reb Nachman of Bratslav. And the Amidah goes like this. I got this from Aryeh Kaplan, Jewish meditation. First, introduce yourself to God in a name you like to be called. You know, so you say, "Dear God, it's me, Yankel," or "God, it's me, Eve." And, you know, if you need to say, "This is me, Yankel, son of Junik, who passed away 19 years ago," you remember, or Matilda, who passed away 11 months ago. Or, you know, how you see yourself, a name you like to be called. Now, Reb Nachman says this very sweet thing. He says, you know, if this is hard for you, it's okay. Imagine it's like an old friend who you haven't spoken to in 20 years, and you have to reintroduce yourself. So after you do that, then you say, God, what I'm grateful for is, and you do a kind of retelling and a kind of inventory internally. So what I'm grateful for is the sense of fun that some people have and how infectiously they can pass it on to others. I'm grateful for good food served in enough quantity to feed starving Jews who haven't had lunch. I'm grateful for nobody broke into my car here yesterday. I'm grateful for, you know, whatever comes up. And you should do it as long as you feel comfortable, but at least 2 or 3 minutes. I know people kind of get to a place of, what am I grateful? You know, I'm grateful for being able to say I'm grateful for. You know, and then do that for a while until you feel complete. Then the last thing you say to make it a complete Amidah is, what I wish for myself and the world is. And that's the bakasha, that's the request. But first, you have to be thankful before you can ask for anything. Before you get the tricycle, you have to say, I already have knee pads and I have a leather jacket with which to ride the tricycle. I'm already pretty happy. I think most people think that prayers are about, this is what I need, this is what I want, let me go to that right away. But the Jewish model is actually not that model. The Jewish model is to first notice what you already have. And from that place of security, then you can ask for something. So sometimes before I perform, I'm very nervous. I'm actually not a natural performer. I don't know if you can tell. I mean, there's some people who are natural performers, but I'm not a natural performer. And it took a lot of years to be this. Pishah, she says. Pishah? No, it took a bunch of years to get to that place. And one of the things I do know is when I'm nervous, at least somewhat, it's really good. Because I can think faster than the audience. You know, the adrenaline is rushing through me, so these people say, oh, I'm not nervous, I'm going on stage in 5 minutes, I just wet my pants. I'm not really nervous at all. I often disagree with them. I think they're actually quite nervous, and they should just own it and say, yeah, I'm really nervous, but they should know that it's God's way of getting you ready to stepping in front of a microphone. I heard a story, apocryphal, that great tzaddik, Mick Jagger, throws up before most concerts.
Why he's so skinny.
What? That's why he's bulimic. I never thought of that. He's bulimic. Okay. Anyway, but he does throw up before most concerts because it matters to him what he's going to do out there. And he's been doing this for 30, 40 years, but it matters to him that people shouldn't say, he's a what do you call it? He's a...
Monkey.
No. Well, lucky's not so. He is a nostalgia act. He doesn't want anybody to say he's a nostalgia act. He wants to go out there and be the guy you saw 30 years ago kicking butt, jumping Jagger, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, jumping Uncle Jagger. Michael, whatever his name is. Michael Jagger. Rabbi Michael Jagger of the blues. So he still throws up. So that means it's okay to be nervous, and to actually use it. I say that to bar mitzvah kids too. I say, you're telling me you're not nervous? Why do you have to lie to your rabbi right before you step out on the bima? Lie to me later. Tell me my hair is growing in. Lie later. But now? No, so it's important to be okay with your nervousness if you're going to step in front. I noticed a few people stepped up before and they were not completely okay with their nervousness. You can actually be nervous right here. Stephen Wright, who is one of the greatest comedians of all time, I'm so sure he's not a natural performer. I'm so sure of it. He's an intellectual guy. He's like 99% bria. He plays with words, but if you watch him, have you ever seen Stephen Wright? He kind of chlupches around the stage, it's like, well, I don't know. I bought a microwave the other day, and I thought it was one of the greatest inventions I ever saw. And the thing about a microwave is, I bought a microwave fireplace, and I spent a whole evening in front of it in 7 minutes. That's Stephen Wright, I'm sure he's not a natural performer, but he developed something based on his own mishigas, which is he can talk slowly on stage, and he can be really up here and play with words right in front of you. Amazing performer. So if you have a particular shtick, like, you get nervous and you sweat a lot. Robin Williams, you ever seen him do a live thing? He has like 48 bottles of water in front of him. Did I make that up? He has 48 bottles of water, now I know why he doesn't get a big gallon jug and just drink that, but he's got 48 bottles, and he gets it, and he drinks, and he splashes all over himself, and he's sweating like a complete piggy. But he needs that. He needs to grab another bottle, and that becomes his shtick. That becomes his prop, even though you would think Robin Williams, of all people, doesn't need a prop. But actually, I watched him. That water bottle is his way of doing a nakudah, a period at the end of a piece. He does a period. He does these super fast 8-second pieces, and then he takes a swig of water. So he's letting himself know, I finished something. What's the next thing I'm going to do? What's the next thing? So that becomes shtick, his own little way of doing things. So having said that, I bet there's somebody here, if they did a little Amidah, of just saying, close your eyes, and introduce yourself to God in a name you like to be called. This can be a sitting Amidah, which is a paradox, but we Jews have always liked ducks, in singles or in pairs. Conservaducks. Okay, so just introduce yourself in a name you like to be called, and then what I am grateful for is, make a nice list. You don't have to share it with anybody. And then, what I wish for myself in the world is, okay, and you're now in a Rebbe state of talking to God directly, and out of that state, I invite you from your Rebbe place to tell a story about a miracle you know of. Preferably one that you know of really, pretty close to firsthand or firsthand.